Hey, welcome to the Overshare Pamphlet. My name is Rob, and I'm the host of this one-man show. How are you guys doing? Happy spring. It's officially spring, I guess, because we got spring now. Like, I think, was it the 21st or the 20th of March? We're beyond that now, so it is that. So, yeah, hopefully where everyone is, you guys are getting some nice weather. Here, it's a bit of a mixed bag. We had some days where like it felt like almost summer, like not summer like hot summer, but like the air was getting like a bit more warm-ish, and like it didn't feel as cold. Even when you breathe, when sometimes you can feel when you breathe in that you're breathing in like cold air, but now it felt like a bit more like humid, a bit more like warmish. So yeah, but now then, like I'm recording on Saturday, and we had the most intense day in terms of weather. Very windy this morning, super sunny, and then it started hailing, and now it's back to sunny. It's a bit cloudy. It's a bit all over the place as well. It's just crazy. So that's what you get, I guess, when you're in the UK in March. Crazy, crazy month. So crazy, so crazy. Oh my god. But anyways, today we're talking about two very interesting things. One of them has been on my mind since I don't know, like probably the new year or something that I wanted to talk about, but I never quite wrapped my head around it, I guess. But I finally did, and that is the end of TikTok's hegemony, because I felt things were shifting already with the new year, and especially since UMG, Universal Music Group, took out basically majority of the songs of the app because of like payment issues and all that stuff, like fees and all of that. So yeah, I had this like topic in mind for a while, but I was hyper fixated on the music aspect most of it all, but I couldn't really like get into like the full thesis, I guess, of like what was going on in my opinion. But now I have like a bit of, because I researched also as well a bit, and I had the motivation to do it. So I'm here. I'm here to tell you all about that. And then the other topic actually is a very fresh and like new topic, I guess. Um, well, fresh in the sense of like something that came up to my mind like literally midway through the week while I was like at work. Actually, one of my colleagues, she was reading an article about what is his name, like Aaron Taylor Johnson, um, who's married to like someone who's like literally 25 years older than him, and that sparked a whole conversation in the office per se already, but about like age gaps and all that stuff, and yeah, I just wanted to like talk about age gaps in general in like relationships, and especially like why are there so many like big age gaps in like relationships that are made up of people who are super famous. Like, why do famous people go for like people who are either super young or super old? What's up with that? So we're gonna explore a bit about that. I always find it super interesting because like it is sort of like a taboo topic in like in society, I guess, like in general in the Western society specifically, like at large, we really shy away from talking about big age gaps, and you're sort of like always looked down upon whenever you talk about it. But like either in terms of we are like in favor of it or against it, but like it's a topic that we usually like try to avoid, I guess. But then again, many Western celebrities partake in these sort of relationships. So yeah, I wanted to explore that, and yeah. Before I get actually into songs of the week, I just wanted to like quickly address the fact that Kate Middleton, because my last episode was about that, Kate Middleton finally came out with like an update on her on the like overall health situation that she is currently going through. But turns out that she was gone for like 3 months because of her cancer. So she has cancer. She's announced she has cancer. She hasn't said where exactly, and it's a very unfortunate event. Also because it seems that it happened very close to when King Charles also discovered his cancer as well. So yeah. So all the conspiracy theories, they're gonna have to go out of the window now, man. So sending good vibes to her, and like hopefully, well, I'm sure she has a great medical team, and she's gonna have great medical care in that sense. So I'm not too worried about that, but hopefully she gets the best treatment and she can like get over it. But it's a very weird situation because they both got like a surgery, and they both maybe through a surgery found about the cancer. And yeah, so and like some clips came out of like recently. I think she was out and about with William, and she looked. The first thing I noticed is that she looked very, 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 very like skinny, like very like it felt like she was like almost down to the bone basically. So yeah, that had me concerned, honestly, and now it all makes sense, to be fair. So that's the logical explanation. So hopefully people can like stop conspiring, even though we all had fun with it. I personally had a lot of fun with it, but like now I'm glad that they finally, that's sort of like what was needed. They should have done this sooner, to be fair. When all the stories started coming out, they should have like addressed it way sooner. But we have it, and I mean, I understand privacy and all, but at the same time, I think her name was getting like dragged through filth, basically. So they should have like just put out a little statement like this one without necessarily like divulging too much information. But yeah, so Kate, you better survive this, man. We need you. We need you. But yeah, intro. So the intro is sort of done. Let's get into songs of the week. Songs of the week. We have a good 5 songs I picked this for this week. Even though like I had a plethora this week, but I think these 5 are the ones that like speak to me the most this time around. First one is "Dinner with Friends" by Casey Musgraves. This comes out of her I think is it the 7th studio album? Oh my god, maybe I'm not. Maybe I'm overblowing it. No, never mind. It's one of her new studio albums that came out literally on Friday, and the album is called Deeper Well. I've seen posters also all around London. I'm loving the aesthetic. The aesthetic is just like very cute. I talked a bit about this like last. Oh fuck! No, it wasn't this Friday. It was like the Friday before this one, because I talked about it in my last episode, saying that I didn't listen to the album yet. So I had tried to like listen to it during the weekend, and I have to say, like, overall the album is okay. I think that she can never like literally recapture the hype that was behind her other hit studio album, but it is what it is, like she's trying to like dip so much into the pop country-ish. This feels a bit more comfortable in I guess, like compared to like her previous attempts to recapture the same pop success. But overall I would say that this song is my favorite one. I really liked it. That's probably the only song that I'm like replaying actually from the album, if I have to be quite honest. But it's just like there's a very nostalgic feel. It's very pretty, like super simple as well as a song. Has just a guitar and a piano in the back that I think does the job. The piano is like so like mellow. It's so nice. She has very soft vocals. I love the harmonies and like and the vocal, like the melodies that she does in the verses so much. It's just like so catchy, I guess, in that sense. She captures this very like nostalgic, as I said, like nostalgic feel to the song. So it's literally like "Dinner with Friends" is like the opening line, I think it is. "Dinner with friends in cities where none of us live. The face of somebody." What is it? The face somebody makes when you give them a gift or something like that. It's like about simple, but like experiences, but very experiences that you treasure, basically, like things that you notice that are like super nostalgic, I guess. So yeah, cool song, very cute song. I honestly love it. It's a very nice and chill vibe. So yeah. Next one is "Don't Know Why" by Dora Jones. Don't know anything about Dora Jones personally, but the song is so fucking sick. Sort of a mellow song as well here. Not exactly a ballad, I would say, but it's sort of like a slow drag type of song, like super effortless, a bit jazzy. Um, the vocals, man, Dora, she hits it here. I think it's a very old song actually. I haven't checked which year it came out in, but um, it's it feels even from the cover and everything. I think she is an old, like an older, like maybe Y2K probably or 90s singer, but the song is just incredible. She sings so softly. I would say like the same way she sings is like I think it's sort of like comparable to Billie Eilish, even though their tones are different, but the softness, I guess, in the vocals and delivery is just like very similar to what Billie Eilish does today, I guess. But killer. I read the lyrics and I couldn't understand what the fuck this song was about, to be fair. So we're gonna leave it at that in terms of like lyrical content and all that. So I didn't really pay like I tried to like even wrap my head like I read it so many times through Genius, Spotify lyrics and all that stuff, and I couldn't really understand what was the point of the song. But beautiful melodies, beautiful like vibe. It's sort of like a jazzy ballad, I guess. So yeah, Slayful. Um, Next song is "Do the Dance" by Jen, like spelled as Genn. This is a completely different vibe from the past two songs. It's a very pop punk rock, I guess, like type of song, pure pump up realness. The way they rock it out and scream is just like so infectious, honestly. Like there is a part of the song like where they go, "Hey na na na, hey na na na." I'm like, oh shit, I'm gonna go to war. I don't want to go to war, but I will. Sure, and it's a group. I think Jen is actually a group of all women. Thank you very much. It's a female band, but it's just like so such a cool ass song. Very Y2K punk pop type of song. So Slade. I think it like I could picture it being played at like 10 Things I Hate About You, the movie. So that's the vibe, I guess. Like very teenage rage in a way. So that's the vibe. Very very cool song. So try and check it out if it's your cup of tea, I guess. Next one is probably one of the weirdest track. Not weird, but it's like such a interesting track. I've never heard anything like this. It's called "Cheerleader" by Lisa Ann. This song is crazy. I can't wrap my head around the structure of the song even now. Like I've listened to it so many times now, but I just cannot comprehend it. It's just so dynamic, so like it always changes. There's no clear, I guess, like structure to the song. It's just like a pure journey. So it has everything. It's brassy. It has a lot of like drums, a lot of guitars, a lot of bass, a lot of synths, a lot of distorted vocals, crazy ass progressions, chord progressions, and it's just overall a great jammy song. Trumpets, brass, everything, whatever you can expect from a song is all jam packed in here, I guess. And it is a jam. It is a jam. You can jam to it. I can promise you that much. Give it a shot. It's a very crazy track, but it works. Somehow it works. Like it just gives you everything. I'll probably maybe I'll also put it in one of my other playlists as well. But yeah, of course, all these songs are gonna be my usual March songs of the week playlist. So yeah, you can find them there. But yeah, maybe I will put this one in that in another playlist that I have. But yeah, last one, fifth song, is "Face Scar" by Emerson Azarian. This is I would say like an old R&B song, like R&B pop song, like in the veins of Destiny's Child or Timbaland. Um, so yes, that's the vibe you can think of in a way. Super cool, strings in the back, harmonies and all. Another great song to vibe to. Super catchy, very like early year 2000, I guess, R&B. Um, there is quite a lot of talk singing though, so be aware of that. If you're not into that, like give it up, I guess, but don't try it. But why not? Just give it a go. Like songs. That's the beauty about like having like a streaming platform. You can literally like listen to so many things, and I'm personally super intrigued by sort of anything, to be fair. Like as long as I find it catchy or like interesting or captivating, I'm gonna listen to it. Like no matter the genre, if it's pop, if it's not pop, I don't care. So many people shit on pop because it's like commercial and all that stuff, but if a pop song hits, it hits. If it's a catchy vibe and everyone listens to it, I don't care, man. I'm gonna listen to it. And if it's something that no one listens to it, I'm gonna still listen to it. You know what I mean? Even if it's like a JoJo Siwa song. No, I'm not gonna go that far because our song was like, what the fuck? But you know what I mean. Like, don't give it a shot. Just in general with music, just try everything out. Don't be caged. Don't be caged. Don't be preconceived, I guess. So yes. Um, I also wrote here in my notes that the pre-chorus is the best part of the song. So just because of that, you should probably go and listen to it. There's a great ass like chord progression, and the pre-chorus, every pre-chorus is the same, but like has this chord progression into the hook then that is just like ooh, so smooth, so like it's just butter, man. It's just so good. And the chorus is very catchy. So, and face guard is about like what you think it would be about. Like she has like this girl has an incredible face guard, I guess. Like she's hot, she's feeling herself, and that's on period. That's all you could ask for. Um, but yeah, these are the songs of the week. As I said, they're gonna be in the playlist. You can go check them out there, and that's pretty much it. I will then proceed to get into the other story. Well, the first story of the day, basically, apart from the chit chat from the beginning. But it's gonna be now my time to talk about the end of TikTok question mark, I guess, because the app is still pretty much there. But we're getting somewhere. We're getting like to some sort of change. But let's get into it after this short little break. See you in a second. And we're back. We're back. We're back. We're back. So, yeah, as I said, we're getting into some real things now. We're getting to some, like, very, I guess, a topic that is, like, sort of relatable in a way because everyone uses TikTok. So, I think everyone can have, like, a little bit of an opinion on this. And I don't know how, like, generalized my experience is going to be, like, to become through this, like, story, but it's also a good way of finding out because TikTok is just so well curated towards the specific user rather than a general public in a way. So I'm not sure if like these issues that I've encountered are as predominant as everyone else, like as everyone else's For You page in a way. But yeah, we're gonna get into that. So as I was saying, TikTok, like this topic specifically, like the end of TikTok question mark, I guess. It's been on my mind for a while now. Like I said at the beginning, probably since the beginning of the year, because ever since, as I said, like the UMG copyright thing and like them taking out most of the songs from the platform, I really thought that a lot of the entertainment provided by the app was taken away from it, and the content started becoming more stale and stale and stale. So yeah, but I hadn't probably like formulated my thoughts on the issue, the bigger issue, I guess, up until now. I guess because like I couldn't really see like apart from that, like I thought it was like a very specific thing that I was like, oh, maybe it's just my thing because like I really enjoyed the app also for the also as a like also creating TikToks through songs. It was just like my thing. I really liked it, and I liked using the app to also like discover new songs. It was like a great experience for that, and I just loved the remixes that were put on the app. there was a lot of things done with the music that was just very entertaining to me. And so I thought, like, when that thing was taken out of it, I was maybe it was just like my only issue. Like, it was my personal experience, and everyone else was like still enjoying it. But I did see other people complaining about it, and I'm talking about some articles that I've read, specifically two of articles that I read from the New York Times that I'm basing also this story kind of on. Some YouTubers as well, some like video essays that I've watched. They've all been like bringing in some other issues that, in from what I can see, they all like lead back to a greater one. But I'll get into that. So yeah, turns out, in fact, that is like there's a plethora of issues that are all equally contributing to the detriment of the app. And funny enough, they're all created by the app itself. So this is what I also find very interesting about the story, is that like it's not a case of like, oh, there's competitors that are taking users away from the app, and like it's coming, it's going to crash down, and you know that's like what sometimes can happen to apps in a way, i.e. maybe Be Real, I guess. Be Real has been like a bit like assaulted by Instagram, but TikTok, like, not to say like these apps actually have tried also to, like, of course, adapt to TikTok. I mean, the Reels or the YouTube Shorts, they're all some sort of like reiteration of the TikTok formula, I guess. So yeah, these apps have not managed to like dethrone it. I think ever since 2020 or like 2019, TikTok has been the most talked about app, somehow the most used as well in terms of like watching videos and entertainment, I guess. Sometimes, like, I think on average users spend 1 hour of each day on TikTok, which is wild. But yeah, and throughout its history and like its heydays as well, multiple apps have tried to like take it down or like to compete with it, and they have not managed to do so. Like, I think truthfully, we've been seeing now is just TikTok crashing like on itself, basically, and reaching that like saturation, I guess, like saturated point. But yeah, that's right. No competitor has managed to take this app to make this app falter throughout these years. Instagram has tried, of course, but I think Instagram is also untouchable in a way. Like, as of now, is like it's been around for so long and has adapted so well, and I think it has created its own little huge space. Like the users, and you can say like some people use Reels, I guess, but it's not because of the Reels themselves, but it's just like because there are so many users on Instagram. Like, Instagram is still the most maybe used app ever. There are so many users on Instagram, it's wild. So you cannot really count that. I think the other one that YouTube tried, of course, to get into that, because YouTube probably is the antithesis of TikTok in a way, because it's like right the opposite way of producing content in some shape or form, I guess. Like, YouTube is all about long form content and long form videos, and TikTok is exactly the opposite. And TikTok's rise, I guess, has definitely also impacted the user's attention span a lot, and so now long form videos are not as popular as they used to be because of that. So YouTube had a lot of stakes in, trying to bring the app down, and I mean, YouTube's popularity has definitely faltered a bit in a way, but you can still argue that maybe is the preferred app overall in terms of like videos and all that stuff, because even TikTokers who get like viral overnight or whatever, they all try to migrate eventually to YouTube, because YouTube has a better monetization system. So there's a lot of like incentives to like to actually migrate to YouTube, and I think you can cultivate a better audience on YouTube, and it's just a more like pleasant experience, I would say. And you can, like, since the long form content goes much better there, you can you can explore a bit more your like creative capabilities through long form content, of course. Like, you don't have the same scope of creativity on TikTok because you're always in a way restricted by the amount of time like the length of the videos you can make. And yes, you can make 1 minute long videos. I think the maximum now is 3 minutes probably, or something, or even longer than that. But the app still pushes, like, I would argue, shorter videos there. So it's still about that. And yeah, so these apps have tried, of course, to bring it down, but it wasn't. They have not been, like, they have been successful because TikTok, in terms of like short form content and short form videos, is still the app in that sense, right? And even the governments actually have tried to, like, many governments have tried to, like, bring it down, ban it, and all that stuff. And I'm really worried about the U.S. now, like, trying to ban it again. The U.S. has tried it so many times. I don't think it's gonna happen. And even if it would happen, I think people would still try to and find a way of, like, still using the app somehow. You know, it would be a huge blow, of course, but I don't think it's gonna happen, to be fair. So yeah, the overall issue with the app has come from the app itself, from what I've seen also from the articles, and just pure observation, to be fair. Um, so what am I talking about here? In my view, like, this is why what I see in like I would say, like, it's comparable to what happened to Twitter in a way. Twitter used to be one of the most used apps as well back in, like, 2010s, but in 2020s it's all about TikTok, I guess, now. So it's the hegemonic app, right? But Twitter used to be the main Instagram competitor, right? Back when it was still in the heydays and you can, like, find very entertaining content. But what happened to Twitter was that the quality of the content started becoming more and more like, diluted and more stale and more, like, disturbing, honestly. And, like, just, you were fed with, like, clickbaity tweets, and, like, the app was pushing content that was, like, made to keep you there to just argue endlessly, basically, in a very toxic way, I guess. And part of it was also the distribution of, like, very harmful content and very, like, untrue content in a way, like, fake news and, like, a lot of disturbing images and, like, tweets and, like, harmful tweets as well. And of course, part of the blame is the users, but also the other part of the blame is just the algorithm and the people working for it that were not, incentivized to, like, take care of the customer's experience overall, the user's experience. So it's just like a blend of things. And of course, then Elon Musk dealt the final blow in a way. So yeah, so the app imploded in a way. And I think TikTok is, like, sort of experiencing a bit of the same issue here, which is basically that the content of the app is becoming more and more stale and more dumb and detrimental. Like, it's always been dumb content, to be fair. It's always been, like, very stupid content. People used to always say, like, TikTok rots your fucking brain, and it's sort of true in a way. But I think, like, especially now, since we're moving in this direction, the app is plagued by, like, stupid ass videos, very stale content, and the algorithm is probably one of the biggest double-edged swords that the app offers, basically, right? The whole purpose of the app is, of course, to keep you on it as long as you can. So the algorithm has been designed to get so personalized that it keeps or referring you to videos that you can find interesting in a way, right? And so the scroll continues endlessly. Like, you're supposed to be on the app as much as you can, basically, right? But yeah, in these articles by the New York Times that I've read, and some, as I said, like, some video essays that I found on YouTube, I've really managed to, like, grapple with the many issues that the app has been having lately, and I really enjoyed the content I've consumed on the app as well. But I have to say that I have been experiencing some sort of frustration toward the app. The way I'm using it has changed a lot, and the way that videos have been recommended to me has changed a lot as well. I've noticed a lot of, like, changes that I'm not really a big fan of in a way. But yeah, the issue I was hyperfix. Let's start with the one that was a hyperfixated on, right? Was the music aspect of TikTok, right? It used to be an app where you could discover so many songs, interact with the sounds, to find even many other forms of content to use the same sound. It was like a great like experience in that sense. I used to love that specifically. You can like click on a sound and see how many other people like used it and like how the different ways they've adapted it. It's just like incredible, right? So yeah. Many songs managed to actually blow up semi-organically, I guess, on the app back in the like coronavirus days, basically the lockdown days, right? So you can all remember Old Town Road or like Say So, where like any, I guess, a lot of K-pop songs as well. Like many hits that came from TikTok were, I guess, like semi-organic. I say semi-organic because like it's partly because the app blew up in a way, so many users were there, started seeing the content that was put there, and at the time it was like these few songs, and like everyone got obsessed with them, and then they brought them up to the charts and all that stuff. But there were genuine moments where like songs became viral hits through TikTok and so on, right? So I think now the problem is that as soon as paid promotions became a thing and people got a hold of like what specific song can be manufactured in a way to thrive on the app, then the app became immediately plagued with like paid promoted ads for mid songs that all sound the same, you know? Like so that's my like first discontent with the music aspect, right? Um my big fixation came from actually the big labels like UMG has had, Universal Music Group, which is also the biggest music distributor on the planet, basically. These labels have decided to like take out all the songs from the platform because of payment deals and all that stuff, right? So most of my content now most of the content that I used to make or that I used to consume were like with hit songs or remixes and all that stuff, and I used to make like content like videos with like very interesting songs that I liked, and not necessarily like also hit songs, also like normal songs that I like really enjoyed and I wanted to like just make a video with it, and I cannot do it anymore because it's distributed by UMG and they've taken out all of them. So yeah. Now many of the hit songs are unavailable. Most of my videos that I made are muted. So there's not even any point in me like making videos if they eventually will be taken out or whatever will happen to them. You know what I mean? So it's very frustrating in that sense. And many new songs will not basically be available on the app. So we're left with very few, like much fewer songs, I would say, that like the fucking, what is it? When I'm back in Chicago. Like, bitch. I'm sick of it. I've had enough. I've literally developed like a physical rejection to that song. I cannot listen to it. I get annoyed so bad. And I think I actually listened to it for the first time on Spotify like ages ago, before it became a thing. And now everyone is making videos with it, and I hear it everywhere. I'm like, enough. That or the Madison Beer song. What I feel. Enough. I've had enough. I get so annoyed with these things. So, yeah, the musical aspect has been ruined for me personally. As far as I'm concerned, I'm like so over it, either as a creative, or also as like a consumer, I guess. So, I'm over it. And that used to be one of my favorite parts of the overall TikTok experience, right? So it's been ruined. It's been ruined for me. That's definitely one thing. The other one that I would like to talk about is the algorithm itself, as I was saying, has become specific to the users to the point where the content is now super, super dry and very predictable, honestly. Like, I was like, hold up, that is actually facts. I realized that I have found myself skipping so many videos, to be fair, because they're either reiterations of videos that I've already seen on the app multiple times. So it's just like same old story, or just simply predictable ones, like videos that I know where they're going to go, or like, you know what I mean? So whenever I get on the app now, what I actually notice is that I'm simply speeding through videos. I'm not even finishing them anymore. I'm just like going through them like very quickly. I keep on swiping. Trying to find something that is like, out of the ordinary, or like a bit more interesting, or I expected, that until basically I give up and I can become frustrated, right? So the only thing that manages to make you escape from your own algorithm sometimes is the reposting function, which is like a newish function, I guess. Came out like now a couple of months ago. But so you sometimes stumble on videos that your friends reposted and you get into the some new corner basically of TikTok, which is good. Like it helps to vary a bit your For You page, but it also gets monopolized quite quickly because as soon as you like one video, you're gonna start seeing so many of them, same sound or same format. It's just like forcing it down your throat basically. There's like the algorithm is just crazy basically. So yeah, the content has become too curated in my opinion. It's become like so like individual based in a way that it doesn't, like, you cannot no longer have like a, you know, surprising moment in your For You page, or like a general like it has created so many nooks and crevices inside the app that now no one consumes the same content, and so it's just, yeah. And you could argue in some way that it's a good thing because you can share with your friends and like that engages the app, like it brings up the engagement with the app even higher. But realistically, I out of all the videos that I send to my friends, it's literally like not even videos that come up on my For You page like of the content I usually consume, but it's just like videos that are different, right? So, and it takes me forever to find them, and I like maybe each day I send like maximum 2 videos, 3 videos to my friends through the app, or like even less than that. So I don't know. I just find it very annoying. It's not like YouTube, for example, where you see like a page of like videos that are not actually even playing. They're just like, you know, little previews, like thumbnails, and that's it. And it brings you like a good variety of like content you may be interested in, or like thought provoking like video essays, or like any sort of like news as well can be put there. You just like have a showcase basically, and you can pick and choose what you want, right? Here you just like have to keep scrolling basically until you reach something that you might find interesting, and it gets so annoying. It gets so annoying eventually. You know what I mean? It gets frustrating, I would say. So yeah, I would say compared to Instagram, for example, which is like also a good example here. Instagram does a great job at like mixing the two, right? The curated and the non-curated content, because like it blends discoverable content with people and pages that you follow. So you have a mix of both, and you're not necessarily like getting content curated to you, but in general other people's content that you follow, as well as some recommendations for content that you may like, right? So the app also, to be fair, has a completely different purpose compared to TikTok. Instagram is more like for catching up on other people, like catching up with other people's lives and like famous people as well, of course, and just that in general, or like following your favorite pages and see what they do. TikTok is purely for entertainment purposes only, I guess, and it's very similar to YouTube in a way. But I would say it's also quite different, as I said before. The algorithm resembles, in my opinion, the TikTok algorithm, the worst parts of Twitter that you can find now, which is the content pushed in front of you now mostly feels like a scam, or like something mostly created to anger you and therefore lure you into the app even more and spend more time engaging and consuming content, and therefore staying on the app longer, right? So YouTube does have some like aspects of this, like clickbaity videos. They used to be even more beforehand, but now it's gotten like to a good point where there's a good moderation in that sense. But like it's much easier to opt out of a YouTube video, in my opinion. Like you can like go through the clickbaity video, you start listening to it, and as soon as you realize that it's like, you know, maybe bullshit, you just click out of it, right? Well, TikTok, since like the content is so short, you're sometimes like unwillingly consuming the content, which is like terrible, and you're engaging with it, which means the algorithm will start like pushing it even more to you, like more similar videos will be like presented to you. So it's just like a never-ending cycle in a way. So yeah, that's one other, I guess, bone that I have to pick with the app. However, I think the worst aspect of the app has to be the TikTok shop. I think that's the consensus that I've seen, like between articles and like YouTube videos and like other things that I've experienced is that TikTok Shop has become the true detriment of the app. Ads were one thing already, but now the app forces down your throat so many useless products that are scams most of the times, and they're like knockoff versions of like either high end products or like even, to be fair, knockoff versions of like Amazon products. Like, can you even go below that? Like that, the bar is so low and it's so weird. Like the products that you see on the app are all like, they all look dodgy as fuck. You know what I mean? I personally only bought one thing in my whole life for TikTok Shop, and it was okay. Like, it was very bad quality, I have to say, but that's pretty much it. Like, so yeah, I could compare this to like an experience of physically going to a market and having vendors shouting at you to get your attention and try to trick you into buying something that it's either completely useless or very poor quality, or both. Or very much both. Like, the amount of shit that I've been seeing on TikTok is just like insane. So now you got shitty content plus like I would say like every 4 videos you got one of these random like product placements or like ads or like any of the sort, and it just like the app has become like an absurdity at this point. Like, it's just crazy. Um, so yeah, I would say the app has now become 100 times more lifeless overall, and like super super boring. The frequency of like influencers or TikTokers paid promotions or like literal ads is just baffling, I think. And it's not like they are selling you a valuable product either. So they're trying to make you buy a knockoff just for the sake, because they're getting paid for it, basically, right? They're not even selling you like a good product. You know what I mean? Because you don't even have like, it's one thing to like, if you follow a page that does reviews of products and all that stuff, incredible, great. Makeup content, for example, incredible for that. But literal ads are just so stupid. Like, they tell you shit that is like completely useless. Um, yeah, so pretty annoying. But yeah, to finish off, I guess, like the topic, a great point brought by these articles is that it seems TikTok has not actually like found its balance on what type of content they actually want to focus on, like on a long term. I think like the app is still like hasn't even been able to like find its proper footing in a way. Like, the overbearing goal of the app is to keep you on the app, right? And it seems to throw the entire like search for a standard content out of the window. Basically, TikTok just keeps on throwing any sort of content at you without really finding a proper established nook for TikTok itself, right? It just feels like a super super vast sea of content, a very sort of like every sort of nature and length. Um, and this is also partly why we are experiencing the death of like a monoculture in a way. Like, I would say like TikTok has definitely impacted that a lot. Like, there's you know everyone is bombarded with like super curated content and of any sort in a way, like, plus promoted content, of course, and nothing truly manages to stick to a larger common audience in a way, right? So bigger trends actually seem to come outside of the app, if there are any anymore. You know what I mean? Like, for example, Dune became probably one of the few examples on the app that has been over like over consuming and like super viral on the app. But I would argue it's also because the movie itself outside of TikTok became viral. Like, it's one of those things that you can really argue which made it viral first now. But I think people through word of mouth started like pushing the movies around, and of course TikTok being one of the most used apps, the content started like being moved around a lot in that sense, and it was sort of all revolving around that. That was a good example of like a largely viral moment, but there are so many, like, virality at this point has become nothing, right? You may find like so many videos that are recommended to you, specifically to you, basically, that you see that have like 1 million likes or like 800,000 likes, and you think, oh, that's super popular. But then you send it to one of your friends, and like, what the fuck? I've never seen this before. Like, what the hell is this? And like, they the whole time you've been on two different sides of the app, basically. So it's just it has contributed a lot to like the death of like a monoculture. Not that like it's necessarily a bad thing, but everyone lives in their own little bubble now when it comes to also TikTok and like general content they consume, that it's hardly impossible to find something that is like organically super famous. So yeah, that's why also like you don't see, I would say maybe like pop stars becoming like having like big pop star moments. Like new pop stars are not a thing anymore because I was saying because yeah, because like everyone is just like so into their own little like nook and like corner of of music in general, of like any sort of entertainment, that it's like quite hard to like find anything that's like that. You know what I mean? Um but yeah, I mean, as I said, Dune might be the only example that I can find of something that was more like generally spread out recently through the app. But it's also probably because like the movie itself became popular because of word of mouth outside of TikTok. Like maybe it's difficult to argue how it became like that. But yeah, um, overall, the it's just like a overall detrimental effect, I guess, of the app. But yeah, I think my bigger point here is that um, yes, the app has become like super unstable in a way, but do I see it completely disappearing? Nope. I think what like I'm gonna say it again, like I'm gonna compare once more to like Twitter. I'm probably gonna see like I see it going the same direction as Twitter. Maybe a combination of like Twitter and like sort of YouTube in a way. I think because like already businesses are trying to get out away from the app because they don't see enough revenue coming from the app itself. Um, they're sort of like already affecting its hegemony. But I think probably like funny content or like comedy content is gonna still like stay on the app, and maybe like short vlogs or like any of the sort is gonna stay there. So yeah, sort of like a fusion of YouTube and Twitter. That is, of course, if like governments do not ban it. So I guess we shall have to see what's gonna go over there. You know what I mean? But yeah, these are my overall thoughts. Very interesting conversations, honestly. But you can, of course, have your own. As I said, like maybe it's not gonna translate to everyone because maybe everyone has a different experience on the app. So who knows? Who knows? Who knows? Who knows? But yeah, let's get into the next topic, honestly, because I've talked quite a lot already. Yeah. So, what's up? Last part of the episode is going to be, as I said, about weird, I guess, like age gaps between like in relationships. Um, so yeah, let's just say like concerning age gaps, maybe. Um, and as I said, like this topic literally came out of nowhere. I was in the office. We're talking about like nothing. I was actually lunch break probably. We're going through news and all that stuff, and it was like an article about Aaron Taylor Johnson. Um, so yeah, there was a lot of that, and I got into like I was like, oh, that's actually like an interesting conversation to be had. Like how far is too far? Like everyone is gonna be having like their own opinion about this, of course, but what is, in your opinion, a like it's like an understandable age gap between two partners in a way, right? Because there's a lot of like taboo, I guess, on this. As I said, it's not like a really often discussed topic, but so many people have many extreme opinions on this. Some people are so moralizing that they would say like, oh, if someone is older than you by like 5 years or something, then get out of here. Like that's disgusting. And I personally have to say that my only thing that I mean I don't really go down in terms of age. I really don't actually, like, not at all. I literally never go below my own age, actually, not even like 1 year below. But I have gone up. I have gone up personally. not necessarily in terms of relationships, but um, it does happen quite a lot, that some people may find older people attractive, or just in general more suitable for them. Because one thing is like chronological age, I guess, in a way, and the other thing is like mentality, like mentality age, and like just in general, like also experience and all that stuff. Some people are super, like they can be like 25 or something and still be like maybe even close to 30 and still be babies, basically, like in their little brains, while other people can be like 20, 22 and be like super mature. So I do contend that there is a difference there. Like it's a bit different. My So in terms of like that, I'm fine with it. In terms of actual age, I don't think there is like, I would say like for me, and also it's like specifically talking about relationships, I wouldn't go beyond um well I wouldn't go beyond 10. I wouldn't go beyond 10 years maybe. I don't think I would go like beyond, so like what, 33. I wouldn't, yeah, I wouldn't date already like people who are 33. That scares me in terms of like dating, just because like I don't think we could have much in common in terms of like life experiences and all that stuff. Um, but I personally don't think there's anything specifically wrong with that. My bigger quibble though is older people getting into relationships, or any sort of like relationship, to be fair, like, or with people who are like significantly younger and who are not, either who are not like above the age, of course, of 18, so above the age of consent, but also if you go for someone who's like around the age, like I'm talking about 18, 19, I would even contend 20. To me, that's wild. Like that's insane. That's some sort of like um manipulation on the end of like someone who's older in a way, because I don't think even like maturity level, like even if you're the most mature 19-year-old ever, I don't think you have experienced life enough to actually know what you want out of like a relationship, and let alone if you even want a relationship in the first place when you're that age. You know what I mean? Like it's just crazy. And I do understand that this like morality discourse has come from like a wave of Me Too in that sense. Like it's part of the Me Too movement, but I'm not talking like looking down upon people who have big age gap and like they're, I don't know, one of them is 30 and the other one is like almost 50. I don't care about that. That to me is like whatever. It's y'all's business. Like it's your life. Your life. You do what you want. My problem is with people who got together when they were like, I don't know, 18. One of them was 18. The other one was like already like almost 40, or beyond that age. So yeah, I have a quibble with that personally, because I don't know. I feel like if you're an older man or woman, there's a lot that, like, a lot of power in your hands in that sense, a lot of experience that you can use at your own advantage to um, basically take advantage of someone else. And this is not, of course, a generalizing opinion, because I'm not saying that every single man who's like, or woman who's like super old and wants to get in a relationship with someone who's like some younger is of course gonna be manipulating them. There's always the other side as well. But when it's like so close to the edge of consent, I think there is always like some sort of question you need to ask yourself: is this person like emotionally like aware enough yet? Have they discovered enough their sexuality and like all of that, like their experiences? Have they had their own fair share of experiences? Because most of the times it's a big no. It's a big no. Most people like start coming out of their shells at like that age, or like in their early 20s. So I wouldn't want to be that person who affects the whole process. You know what I mean? I don't want to put their, I don't want to put like, I don't want to generalize anything, of course, but there could be instances where like you become used to these sort of like relationships as the standard, but when there's plenty of more sort of like different types of relationship that you can experience in your life, and that's the age where you can mostly do it. You know what I mean? Like once it's like clear that you've had your fair share and like you're an emotional maturity that you're required to firstly enter into any sort of relationship, to be fair, then it's fine. Then it's like another completely different topic. But yeah, and I speak specifically about this because, like, of course, the article that we saw at work was specifically about Aaron Taylor Johnson and his wife, um, whose name is, what's his name, Stephanie or something? Let me double check. Stephanie, I think. So basically, the point is that their age gap is like almost 25 years or something, or it's exactly 25 years. It's 23 years. Yeah, it's Sam and Aaron Taylor Johnson, and they met when he was 18. When he was 18, and she was 42, I think, or 43. So that's wild shit. Like, that is insanity. Sorry, she was 41. What am I saying? She was 41. That's wild. Like, that's insane to me. That is crazy shit. And the article was specifically saying that, so Miss Sam Taylor Johnson, she has, I don't know how many daughters, but she has one specific daughter who's like only like 10 years apart from Aaron Taylor Johnson. So now he's the stepdad to someone who's like closer to his to him in terms of age than his wife. So that's insane. Plus, they have also their own children, I think, and it's just crazy to me. Like, I understand that maybe now it's like is more conscious about it, but I think like already when they were shooting Avengers: Age of Ultron or Bullet Train, that's when like they first met, and he was 18 at that point. And for example, in 2019, the couple said they were professional on the set of the 2009 movie, and like it was all Gucci and clean. And he said also that, she said also that everyone on set knew, and as soon as they finished, um, he told her that he was gonna marry her, and like, what? This guy is 18 years old, and you're gonna just take it like that? Like you're 30, like sorry, you're 41, and you're like, sure, I'll marry you. And she also said like he had never been on a date with her, never kissed her before, and he just said that to her. So like, clearly it was like some sort of infatuation on his hand, um, which is like it happens. It's pretty normal actually sometimes. But you, as an adult, fully fledged adult, you should have. Personally, I wouldn't have gone for that because why would you? Like he's 18 years old. Like, come on, think about that for a second. Think about that, and like they still got married. They got married in 2012, and they both have the same surname, Taylor Johnson, right? Crazy. 10th wedding anniversary was in 2022. They renewed their vows, so everything seems to be going pretty well for them. I don't know. I just find that very odd. Like, again, there's plenty of other examples I found, like on this Business Insider article, for example, of people who have massive age gaps. Like, I don't know. Let's see, George Clooney and Amal, his wife, or I don't know, his lady. They have a 17 year gap. Or let's just see, Jason Statham and like Rosie Whiteley. They have 20 years, 20-year difference. There's plenty. Like, Harrison Ford, for example, 22 years. Sylvester Stallone and Jennifer Flavin, they have also 22-year gap. Or Bruce Willis and Emma Hemming, 23 years. Like, there's plenty. But most of these people met at different stages of their lives when they were already like beyond that. Another weird one, for example, is like Dane Cook and Kelsey Taylor, 27 years of a gap, and they met when she was 24. 24 is already much better than 18, of course. So it's a bit like that. But girl, what are we doing here? There's crazy ones. I think some of the oh yeah, what was it? Was it Cher? Yeah, Cher and Alexander Edwards. Like he's much younger than her. Like they have a 36-year gap. Like come on, come on. But again, I'm not here to moralize specifically about people, as I said, like who met when they were already like beyond a certain age, right? The problem is, as I said, like it's when people get into like this sort of like predicament, and of course, many people start like blaming one or the other party, saying like it's predatory behavior, and it is. In some cases, it is, but not all cases, of course. Like there's cases where there's genuinely like that, and I think the allure of like older people sometimes is because like you're attracted to confidence as a young person, like in general as a person, you're attracted to confidence, and sometimes confidence comes from you know maturity and like experience and all that stuff. So that is more than natural in a way, but I think you also have a responsibility as an adult to take a stance, and if you notice something like that, just get the fuck out of there. Like a crazy one that I've seen is Mick Jagger. Mick Jagger and Melanie Hamrick, 44 years, like in terms of gap, 44. He's 80 and she's like 36. So, what the fuck, man? What the fuck? But I guess like do what you gotta do, you know? Like if you guys are like going for it, go for it. But if it's like an example, like if it's the same thing as Aaron Taylor Johnson, then don't I don't that I don't condone. I'm so sorry, but that I cannot condone. I'm so sorry, but yeah. Um, this also brought me back to the infamous Leonardo DiCaprio dating chart from Reddit. This man, he has like see this is predatory behavior, for example, right? He has never dated anyone above 25. I think just recently he went from someone slightly above 25. But his whole life, he's never dated someone his age, never, and he's never dated someone above 25. And the age, of course, like is problematic. It is a pattern basically. He's going for people who are like maximum 25, and for example, very recently when he was 44, he dated someone who was 21, or 43 when he was 43. He dated someone in 2018 who was 20, and that to me is just crazy. Like, what the fuck? That whenever there's like some sort of like pattern like that is just fucking weird. Like you're just a weirdo. You need to like grow up and leave these like young women alone, or even the other way around. As we've seen, honestly, like whenever you're in that position, leave them alone. Leave them, like, let them experience their lives, and maybe later on, if you meet up again and it works, then it works. That's, you know, that's a given. But like, if you're 43 and you go for someone who's 20, like, grow a fucking pair, man. And like, also, your dating history is not helping your case at all. You know, like you're going for specifically that type of person, and it's just, frankly, quite sad. I would say like you have issues, deeper issues I need to unpack there. You know what I mean? So yeah, overall, I would say stay away from these people. Try your best to stay away from them. I know it's quite like difficult to just say these things, but like you know, or for example, remember when like Billie Eilish was dating that guy from that band? I can't remember, but they had a considerable like age gap. Like he was, I think, almost 30 and she was like 19 or something. And I still think that that was weird, not because of like I couldn't see them together or whatever. They could have worked as a couple, I guess, but it's just the mere fact that she's not even in her 20s and you're way past that. You're way past that phase. And as I said, that's also part of like my personal reason as to why I could never have this work out for me, because like I do like people who are like slightly more like mature in that sense in terms of mentality and everything else. But I also like relatability in a way. Like I like having shared experiences and all that stuff. Not to say that we cannot have them, but um, I find it harder to relate to someone who's like from a different generation, like completely different. Millennials is already like one thing. Millennials, even though some of them make me cringe for real, Sorry to y'all. It's nothing against y'all. It's just like a my thing. But imagine dating someone who's like 2 generations or 3 generations older than you. Like, what the fuck? How are you gonna explain to them? Like, I don't know, like Jojo Siwa, like the new Jojo Siwa music video, like the shit that she's taken, or how are you gonna explain to these people the Susie store bought pesto situation, or I don't know, like a BBL joke, or like any or a buccal fat removal joke. Like, how do you explain to them these things? You cannot. Like, you can try; it will be funny probably, but I bet that most of these people would think it's like, what the hell? Like, is that supposed to be funny? Like, and yes, it is. Thank you very much. It is very much funny, hilarious, and just crazy. So, I don't know. Maybe it's just my personal thing. Of course, is that like I'm not judging anyone who's like in these situations, but I am judging people who are like way older and go for people who are like barely above the age of consent. So if you're doing that, you deserve a spot in hell, man. So yeah, that's my little rant on this situation. Just found it very, very interesting. Curious to see what people think about it, but yeah. Hopefully I've managed to have an interesting chat with y'all today. I hope you guys have a lovely week. I'm gonna try and cram up an episode for the next episode, basically, because I'm leaving on a Saturday and I'm gonna try my best to work my ass off the Friday before, because it's a bank holiday here, to get an episode going. And the episode after that is also going to be a big question mark, because I'm coming back to England on a Sunday. So either I make notes while I'm away and then record, which I don't know if I'll do. Who knows? Probably going to enjoy my holiday. Who knows? But there's a possibility of like not hearing from me for the next couple of episodes. Maybe the next one is more feasible in a way, but maybe one episode or two are gonna be off. So yes, just don't worry. I'll be fine. I'm gonna go on holidays. So next time you hear from me, I'm probably still gonna be I'm gonna be recording it when I'm still in London, but I'm probably gonna be in Italy, having fun, eating food, having a blast. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Have a great week ahead of you guys, and just keep on slaying and stay away from people who want to take advantage of you. Please, please, please